Good day, A, and welcome to your weekly meditation. As always, you're looking for that long spine. So we're just going to go right into it. So, whatever position you're in, what can you do to facilitate that long spine? And even though we have that long spine, of course, we want all of the other things around that long spine to soften, right? So, do that double check in your physical body. Make sure the muscles of the face, the shoulders, the hips, whatever parts might be active right now for you, let them soften. A couple of moments when you're ready, tuning into the breath. Hopefully that belly is already soft, but if it isn't, the first place I always start with the breath is softening the belly. It's also a great place of contact to bring you to the present moment, right? The observation of the belly, the breath. And then I want you to imagine that there is a being in front of you whom you really love. Right? We've all had that experience of having someone, whether they're looking at us back or we just see them and we have those eyes looking at them with love and kindness. And so I just want you to imagine that you are looking at that being right now with loving kindness. And then imagine, if you will, that that starts to spread to all of the beings that you love, as if you could make contact and see all of them through those eyes with that loving kindness. Even the ones that maybe annoy us a little bit sometimes or we struggle with, right? Still being able to look at them with love. And then, if it's all right, maybe expanding that and imagine that your heart is going out to all beings everywhere, right? With that same loving gaze. And just finding that kindness. And if love is too strong of a word for you, let it be kindness, looking at all beings with kind eyes. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I forget that I too am a being that I can put into that mix. And so maybe even imagining you looking at yourself with kindness, with love, with gratitude. As the Buddha puts it, we spread our heart full of love to all the world. And then I'd like to bring us into a little self compassion meditation. So I want you to imagine that inside of yourself you have two different aspects. We've done this before, but it's been a little bit. Right? One of those parts of you we're going to consider our true friend aspect. right? Maybe you've been that to somebody else, where no matter what they say, no matter what pain they're going through, suffering, maybe they say something cruel one time, right? Because they're angry. No matter what happens, you always love them, stand by them, and knowing their suffering, their pain. And so that's a part of you, right? One aspect. And then there's the other aspect of you that we're going to consider being the wounded part. And this wounded part, right? They're the ones who sometimes feel angry or misunderstood, unseen, invisible, unloved, maybe like they're not enough. And so I want you to imagine that the true friend part of you, that aspect, every time you breathe in, that true friend breathes in the suffering and the pain of your wounded self. And you transform that in your heart, right? That place of unconditional love. So every time you breathe in, you're breathing in the suffering of the wounded part of yourself into the true friend part. You transform that energy in your heart center and you send back to that wounded part of yourself peace and ease. Maybe you can breathe in their feeling of being misunderstood. And when you breathe out, let them know that you understand them. And maybe breathing in their fear on an inhale. And when you exhale, you transform that fear and you send them safety. So you can get specific if there are specific things you're working with inside your own heart, mind, right? And whatever it is that you're feeling in the moment, breathe in that specific part of the pain or the suffering, transform it and breathe out the antidote to them. Breathing in that part of yourself that feels like you're not enough. And breathing out gratitude for all that they do, all that they are, and they have become. Breathing in their anger, their frustration, and breathing out peace. Breathing in that feeling of being treated unjustly, and breathing out the ability to draw the boundaries necessary, right, to protect yourself. And again, I'm giving you some ideas. Please use them if they're helpful. But the more I play with this on my own, right, and really take in what the wounded part of me feels and try to breathe back the specific antidote to that, the more effective I find this meditation. A true friend side knows all your hopes and your dreams and your fears, everything about you, and they love you unconditionally. And you can keep breathing in, right? Any of those parts of the wounded self, the pain and the suffering, and breathing back out peace and ease or a specific antidote. But let's imagine that that unconditional heart of ours, where all of this is transformed, let's imagine that we're connected to a source greater than ourselves, that we have support in this. So maybe imagine a golden sun above your head. If you have another visualization you work with, please do. Right? And that golden sun above you shines down a ray of golden white light down through the crown of your head into your heart. So that every time you breathe in that pain or that suffering, now we have an additional support system to help us transform that. And take a few moments and remember that those two aspects of ourselves, we split them apart for this meditation, but they're both a part of us. So maybe imagine them now melding together as one. You, maybe those beautiful, beautiful eyes looking at yourself with loving kindness. You can imagine yourself, someone outside of yourself, a part of you. I'm not saying that well. You can imagine you sitting across from you. Let's say it that way. And you looking at yourself with loving kindness. That beautiful being, that beautiful, flawed individual who shows up time and time again with good intentions. That one. Look at that being with loving kindness, with gratitude, with forgiveness, maybe, if that's your work. And again, meld the two beings. And now concentrate on that beautiful golden white light coming down from the sun above you, down through the crown of the head, all the way down to your heart center. Just take a couple of moments in the heart center and notice if there's any sensation, any felt sense. So turning into the somatic body. And if there's an imprint that has been left where you are connected to something greater than yourself, where you are feeling loving kindness, right? You're able to spread that love to the whole world. Just remember that. Remember that imprint that's happening right now, that impression. So you can take it with you throughout the day or maybe call upon it at a point where it's not as apparent to you. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Inhale, bow your head gently into your heart, and let the heart move forward to the thumbs, the thumb move back into the heart, and let there be a connection between our hands and our heart, remembering that our hands are a part of that energy center. What do I mean by that? Our hands are where we give and where we receive for the most part. Yeah, where the physical manifestation of that is. So may you give love and kindness to yourself and to others throughout the day. And may you also receive that gift from others. And even on the days it feels like we don't have it from others, remember you always have Source to call upon, and Source is giving it to you all the time. Namaste. Be well, friends.